Number 16, we just want to multiply these two imaginary numbers. Well, it's easy enough. -4 times 2, -8. I times I will be an I squared. But what is I squared? Remember, I is simply square root of -1. So if I have the square root of -1 times the square root of -1, that just gives me -1. So this is worth -1. Now, what is -8 times a -1? +8. Number 17, it's raising it to the third power. So it wants to do -2i times a -2i times a -2i. Well, -2 times -2 times -2. -2 times -2, 4. 4 times -2, -8. But we have this I to the third, don't we? Well, if we think about it, and again, we should know what that is, but if not, here's what we think of. It is basically I is worth square root of -1 times square root of -1 times square root of -1. Well, these give us what? -1 times this guy, but this guy is just simply I. So we say, hey, this is simply a negative I. So -8 times a negative I. Whoa, negative times negative, positive. So this answer is an 8i. 18. All we need to do is distribute through. This gives me -12i. 3 times 3 is 9, and then I squared. Well, remember, I is a -1, so we have a square root of -1 times a square root of -1, which gives you -1. So this guy is worth -1. That makes that +9 times -1 a -9. So here's what we have. -12i minus 9. Now, we do like to write complex numbers with the real part, which is him, first, and then with the imaginary part second. So this is the way we prefer the answer, -9 minus 12i.